Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from the big island of Hawaii. Yay, thank you so much for joining. I love you. Thank you. Yeah. Ooh, aloha. Thank you for joining. Hooray. Mm. So let's talk a little bit about control. That sounds fun. It seems like we might have some kind of control over how things go. It seems like we might be able to do something to help things to be a certain way. But since everything is coming out of the mind, the cause and the effect are in the same place. They're the same, the cause and the effect. It's no matter what we do to try to get something a certain way, like say, get a person to be a certain way toward us, or get it so that we have a certain amount of money. All there is this moment, and this moment is perfectly rich with everything that we're looking for. Yeah, it's only the resistance to what is that makes it seem like we need to go out into thought and get some kind of form in a certain way. All that desire, all that longing is just a reflection of one thing. It's just a reflection of the desire and longing to be whole, which we are. Okay. It's just it's just a lie, a misperception that we're not already whole. See? That's why there's this need to control outcomes and the way things go. You see it very prevalent between a parent and child. Oh, I really need to make them be a certain way. Make sure that they think a certain way, eat a certain way, so that they can turn out right, whatever my mind is saying is right. Okay, all that is a reflection. It's as if we need to be controlled, as if we need an authority outside of ourselves. So the belief we need an authority outside of ourselves manifests as trying to exercise authority over other people, even people in our experience, like a friend. Say a friend. Oh well, friends shouldn't do that. Friends shouldn't say stand me up as if that was possible to get stood up, right? Friends shouldn't do these kinds of things, whatever it is that we think they're doing. And then it makes it into some kind of a conflict thing where there's anger with that person for whatever it is, whatever way they acted toward us. And that totally came out of our own mind. You could say that we use that person to get a feeling. Okay? We use that person as an opportunity. You could say you use that perception of a person for the opportunity to see through the illusion. And when every perception is taken as an opportunity to see through the illusion, even if there's some anger inside or whatever, then it's easily resolved. Even the outer world, the perceived outer world, just dissolves. Any kind of conflict, any kind of upset between people, you know. I've experienced where, a person has been really upset to the point of going, we're going to call the police and get the police involved, you know, threatening some kind of authority thing. And just taking that hit. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like a hit to the energy field. Someone says, I'm going to get the police involved. And all of a sudden, there might be a feeling of defensiveness. The police? Why would you call the police? Not the police. Why would you even think that, but just watching the energy, the resistance, and letting it pass, and it go, and ease comes through that. You don't even need to say anything, just the ease that comes through, and the whole situation, it dissolves. It never turns into anything because it was never taken as anything in the first place. You know, it's not taken as real. The way we're tricked into taking something as real is we feel upset about it, and then, oh, that must be real because I feel so upset. I need to fix this. I need to change their perception. That's another way of trying to exercise some control. Trying to change another person's perception. Like, I don't want them to think about me that way. Try to change their perception of us. See? Try to keep other people's perception, which is really self-talk. It's all self-talk. When there's not this trying to control it, then there's an ability to receive it as it is, as self-talk. So whatever anyone says, whatever anyone speaks, if it gets any form of resistance inside of our body, in our energy field, I mean, that's consciousness right there, the energy field. That's it. It's a sense. It's just a sense. It's an interpretation of information. So then there's no need for, hey, screw you, since you stood me up, you're not my friend. No, at least not in an argumentative way. You may not be setting an appointment to meet the person again, right? You may not be setting an appointment to meet the person again. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But see, consciousness can take care of that. Consciousness can take care of us. Okay. Sounds like control and attachment are related. Oh yeah, for sure. Because with an attachment, you know, it's already, you want a particular outcome. You want, say you want your friend to give you a certain kind of respect, and then that's not received. You know, so then there's a need to try to control, and anger is one that's used to try to control. It's like, I want this, I want them to be this way. So the anger will arise like it's going to get you what you want, because it's going to control the person or control the situation or protect you to make sure that you don't meet people like that might not show you the right respect. And see, the point is not to try not to meet people who wouldn't show the kind of respect you're looking for. The point is meeting them and being able to play with the whole experience. You know, it's fun. It's fun to recognize, oh, no, thank you, that's not for me. And it's not a mad thing. It's not even like a mad thing. And you know, in my own experience, the way it is it's looking at where is it that the spirit wants me to be? Who does my spirit want me to be with? Because that's all we really have. That's all we have. That's all we are. Okay? Everything in this world, everything that we can see, hear, taste, smell, touch, see, it's not who we are. It's concepts, it's illusions playing out. All we really have is the spirit. So in my situation, in my life experience, it's kind of like listening. Where do I feel drawn? Who have I feel drawn toward? And letting it be, not trying to set up concepts. All that happens when we set up concepts, like say who we should be with, who should be our friends. They shouldn't be my friend anymore because they did that. Now I'm not going to talk to them. That's using a concept. That's control. okay? You know, if I feel particularly drawn to a person, they might quote unquote stand me up one day and I'd meet them the next day. That might happen. I've experienced that before. Just noticing where you are drawn and always speaking the truth. Always speaking the truth. Knowing something's not for you. That's not for me. No, thank you. With a smile, though. With a smile. I was on one retreat one time. It was so funny because on the retreat, we were practicing saying no. We were practicing saying no on the retreat. So all of us women were walking around in a circle and practicing saying no. And I'm looking around the circle and everyone's like, no, no, no. And I was like, no, no, no. See, it's not like that. It's more like, no, no, thank you. I love you. No, thank you. See? But it can't come out like that. It can't come out like that while there is an allegiance to the anger. There's an allegiance to the anger. This person, it means this person has done something wrong. And that's the thought believed. But this person has done something wrong. And now, since this person has done something wrong, that means that I shouldn't be their friend. That means that I shouldn't talk to them or something like that. And that's how uncomfortable and unhappy relationships continue to multiply. Those never go away. It's like people learn that, you know, the saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And, that's because people learn that the more they get to know a person, the more flaws, quote unquote, because it's a projection. It's just a projection. That person isn't flawed. The person is not a bad person. There's just an honesty about that doesn't resonate for me. No, thank you. I don't have to. And that kind of it's funny because it kind of speaks to that that movement, that Me Too movement. It's just dawned on me. It's like it's not like men are. It seems like it was really directed at men, but it's not like the men are like the ones at fault. No one's at fault, really. There's not anyone at fault. This is a dance. This is a dance. The way women have been conditioned, women were conditioned a lot to be like kind of like held down, So like that kind of patterning kind of keeps on playing out. There's like an echo of that patterning playing out. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female. This applies to you if male too. But there's this energy of you need something from me so I can take this from you. And a lot of times that has to do with the body. I can have this sex from you because I provide this to you, that whole Me Too thing. It's like there's this illusion that someone is in power. No one's in power. But there's an illusion that someone's in power. And see, the thing is, the illusion that someone's in power is being bought into by the quote unquote victim and going, oh, I need this person. I need this person's respect. I need a job from this person, or I need the companionship of this person. I need the security that this person provides for me. And that is not true. So actually, this attachment to security and all this stuff will cause the person to allow themselves to basically be abused. And that's the way they control the situation. You see the ulterior motive here? Because it's like in a vast majority of these situations, You know, the person isn't in a position of being way smaller than the other person or whatever the situation is. You could just say no. But a lot of the times that doesn't happen. No, the no doesn't come out because the mind is playing this, oh, better not speak up. Better not speak up. I might lose my security. I might lose my income. Might lose my sustenance in this life if I say anything. See, it's the same thing in a job. You know, I remember when I worked in a law firm, I really started to get the gist that, wow, people are afraid of losing their job. People are actually afraid of losing their job. So because they're afraid of losing their job, the boss can come over and berate them like a mofo. Just come up and berate them. And they'll just take it because they're afraid of losing their job. And they'll sit there and be like, my boss is an asshole, but I need this job, you know. And it's like, it's funny because people thought I was having sex with him because he was so nice to me. But it was just because I didn't take it. I just said, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to work here with that. He'd come to me with some kind of, I go, you got to calm down before you come over here and talk to me. I'm not going to play in that. I'm not going to play with that. But the thing is, there's just an inner awareness, an inner knowing. No one's without it. It's just kind of covered up by for a lot of people, that our sustenance does not come from our jobs. Our sense of security does not come from our partners. Our companionship, even our companionship doesn't come from another person. It's not like that. Those are bodies. They're passing mental programs playing out. The love that we share is real. The love that we share is very, very real. That's the only thing that's real. This idea that someone is needed to be a certain way and to do a certain thing and be whatever it is, that's just attachment to getting some particular outcome. Okay. And that's always leading to what you don't want. That's always leading to what you don't want, because in the wide open free fall spirit, there's nothing that is not already yours. There's nothing that is not already yours. Okay, let me see what we have. How do I know I'm spiritually bypassing? I'm not spiritual bypassing and actually living from the truth. Well, in order to be spiritual bypassing, for one, you have to use thought, right? You have to use thought to do that. So one way of saying it, step off the train. It's thought. It's just thought. It's thought that says, I need to be quiet and small. It's always thought that says, I need to try to get something out of this. And so I'm going to sacrifice something for it. You always have to sacrifice your peace, your sense of peace. Start controlling something. And in many of these instances, in a majority of these instances where it seems like there's a victim and a villain, the one who's playing a victim could have easily said no. But then again, they couldn't say no because they were committed to thoughts that said that they needed something. They needed to get something. I even heard one woman, I think she's in government, I think she's really like high up. I'm not sure. I'm not really, I just saw it and I was like, wow, really? She said, I'm just glad that I didn't have to be one of the ones that was taken advantage of because I didn't need a job. See, But then she thought that the other people that did put up with it, they really did need a job. Apparently, according to their circumstances and stuff. None of that is really true. Whatever job there is, whatever job is arising, whatever work seems to be there, it's like just put your heart into it. Whatever relationship happens to be arising, it's like just put your heart into it. And what does that mean? Let every feeling be met in the heart space. Let every feeling that arises just be met in the heart space. And that's self-compassion. That's what flows forward. That's what flows between us. A friend can't disrespect us. That's not possible. Everything that we think they did, they didn't do. No one is capable of doing anything. Spiritual bypassing is pretending like they can do something. Speaking of spiritual bypassing, pretending like they actually can act without our authority. Then where are you? Where are you in this? If they can act without your own authority, you have no dominion over it. And the truth is that you have all dominion over it. When a misperception comes up, oh, I feel like I've been disrespected. That could be seen a lot of different ways. That could be looked at a lot of different ways. Whatever it was, whatever the kind of disrespect was. It doesn't have to be taken as if something is wrong. It doesn't have to be taken as if someone did anything to us. It's producing an experience. And it's not even producing an experience on our own. More accurately, we use it to get a feeling. Use it to get a feeling. You're going to say, oh, this feeling of disrespect is because that person should have shown me this kind of respect, and they didn't. So this feeling of disrespected is about them being a bad friend. When the feeling of disrespected feeling, if you look closely, that feeling of disrespected was already there before the reason was made up. Feeling of disrespected was already there. It's already there. It's already playing in the consciousness. You want to get it. You want to bring it to the surface. Make up a reason for it. Disrespectful friend. That's good enough. That'll do it. That'll get it. Spiritual bypassing. Okay. Please define spiritual bypassing. Well, I don't know. I don't really have a good definition for that. I've seen it on Facebook and stuff like that. I think it means not facing reality. I think it means something like that, not facing reality. But then it comes down to what is reality. Okay? And that's the thing that's mostly missed. What is reality? See? How about this? Looking at everything, observing everything that comes as reality. Yeah. I don't know. I've seen spiritual bypassing used different ways. Some, I've seen it, definitely seen it used by the ego. Definitely seen it used by the ego. Like it would be spiritual bypassing if I didn't, I don't know, make someone go to bed on time. I've heard that especially with regard to kids and stuff. Just not wanting to feel, it's like It's really not wanting to feel. Yeah, if I had to give it my definition, I would say not wanting to feel. Not wanting what I'm feeling right now. And fear of feeling something worse. That's another one. That's what prevents people from speaking up. Fear of feeling something worse. Oh, this doesn't feel so good, but man, it could be worse. I could get fired, or I could lose this sense of security. I could lose this sense of self that I don't, and then I won't know who I am. See, spiritual bypassing. I think maybe using spiritual concepts as a way to avoid feeling, sensing, sensing whatever's arising. Whoa, something just popped. Ah, thank you. I love you. And the thing about all these feelings, even that, intense feeling of like disrespect or something like that, in all these feelings, there's no suffering. We just start try to suffer over them, like use them to get the feeling of suffering. There's no suffering in them, actually. There's no suffering in that, actually. I mean, I love it. I love it when I have a twinge of being disrespected. It's like, whoa, I'm alive. Because it's like there's a resistance to it. It's like this resistance to it. And in the resistance and through the resistance, the sense of self is worn away. And that's what's so invigorating. It's like, yeah, if that's there, show it to me. Because no one really has the power to disrespect me. I can use them to feel disrespected. I can use them to feel abused. In fact, no one has the power to abuse me either. That's it. See? And that includes when I was a kid. Even though, physically I was smaller and in my situation, there's no way I could conceivably get out of it. I'm sure there was a way out of it. It's just that it wasn't conceivable because it was so believed. It's like, you know, like a kid, you don't know. You're like, what's going on? These guys got authority over me. Oh my goodness. But it wasn't really true. And then once I found out it wasn't true, everything was completely different. Relationships changed. Lori, I have you on. Your mic's on. You're
Okay.
live, baby.
God, a few minutes ago you said something about, oh, because I got into the last thing you talked about and I lost it, but it was something about feeling it. Okay, because Peter's uncle died today.
Okay.
And this is a man who I am so blessed to have been able to cut his hair every month. He was the most loving, kind. Was the epitome of a sweet man.
Okay. Why are you speaking of him in the past tense, though?
Oh my God, because his body and mind is gone. I will never.
No, his
Oh my God.
his body never was. It was a projection,
Oh
and his
my
mind is not gone. That
God. Is not gone.
is not gone. He hasn't gone anywhere just because you can't see him.
He
That's an
hasn't.
interpretation of energy. His body's an interpretation of mental patterns. And who he is, of course, never changes or goes anywhere.
So, right, okay. So I was interpreting him as Uncle Lionel. I interpreted his energy as a beautiful man. Loved him, told him all of that. And there
Yeah.
was
Well, he still is. He still is that.
okay. So everybody is sad and crying and all this, and I don't feel sadness at all.
Okay.
None.
Okay.
I gratitude
Yeah.
for
No need.
being no need what?
Sadness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
unless it's there. Unless it's there. If it's not there, no need.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted permission.
I told a story one time in person wisdom dialogues. I probably never told it to you, but you probably like this one. When my husband was younger and he was a teenager, one of his friends died, and so his dad, the friend's dad, was in the hospital room, and kind of saying his last goodbyes or whatever. And when he came out, he was just all smiles and handshakes and loving everyone up.
Oh,
That's the dad.
wow.
There's this idea that you're supposed to be
Right,
sad when someone dies,
right.
but no
Society.
one dies. That's the thing. So there's nothing to really be sad about.
Mm.
They were done projecting that form. You were done projecting that form.
I
It
was
was
just
in,
gonna say,
that form was of no use anymore. You could say it was ordained.
what's that mean?
It means it's something that's very meaningful, meant to help, you know, meant to um, expand awareness, inspire awakening. Everything that happens is like that. You look at everything as if it's ordained like that. It's like whatever happens, there's no resistance to it. Or if there is resistance to it, it's just easily met in the heart.
Hmm.
Everything is just as it should be.
Yeah, resistance it would be sadness or a wanting that body and mind back here
Yeah,
on
and
Earth.
there doesn't have to be resistance for sadness to be manifesting. There's, like I said before, there's no suffering in the sadness. So
Right.
sadness could come up
No.
and you could find yourself crying. It
Mm.
probably won't last a super long time, but you might find yourself crying. But in that crying, there's no suffering.
Right, right.
Yeah, so it's not like I shouldn't cry. That would be unspiritual or something. But if the sadness isn't there, you don't have to try to conjure it up either.
Right. Yeah, yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it does, I heard one story of a sage of some sort, and he got a note. He was sitting in satsang or something, and he got a note, and the note was letting him know that his mother died or someone close to him died, and he just had an immediate emotional reaction where he just cried really hard,
Hmm.
and then it passed, and then everything was fine.
Yeah.
It's not a problem if that emotion, it gets triggered up. It just gets triggered up like that. It's in the subconscious mind. It just gets triggered by something, but it passes very quickly, and it's not a cause for suffering.
Yeah.
Unless you believe that something went wrong, that someone really died or whatever.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah,
And not accepting what it is. Yeah. What is
yeah.
causes that pain and suffering.
Yes, and it's just our own just using something, even the death of a loved one, to get that suffering feeling. That's what's going on.
Because that
That's
feeling was already there.
Yeah, and that's why it can pass so easily, because when it's just embraced like that, it's just met in the heart, and
Mm.
then it's just allowed to express, and it could be seen that any resistance isn't necessary, and it's all wonderful. It's all really, really wonderful. In fact, when a body passes, that energy is somehow closer, because now there's not this wall of a body to
And
try
I
to
was
to
gonna
try to
say
communicate with.
all the body. I get. Wow.
Yeah, to
There's nothing
communicate.
right.
we don't need bodies to communicate. So you can communicate perfectly with your uncle. We don't really need bodies to communicate. And to communicate with someone who has passed, for the most part, they can't um, communicate because they're not on the same wavelength. They're not on a similar vibrating, resonating wavelength unless there's a sense of peace. Because for the most part, the passing, they're experiencing an amazing sense of peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I understand from talking with psychics and stuff like that that some of this energy remains
Yeah.
earthbound, as if as in, you've heard him say, go to the light, go to the light. But
Right.
for the most part, these loved ones, in order to communicate with you, need you need your energy to be resonant with theirs, and it's a very relaxed, um, non-stressed, non-judging energy, and you could say the whole world needs you to be like that.
Yeah.
You could say that, because whenever there's a relaxation in your energy field, that's a relaxation in consciousness. That's
Mm.
universal. That's universal. So it's not a matter of trying to avoid the upset feelings, but welcoming them. Because when they're welcomed, then that's where they're dissolved. And that's how all of consciousness, which isn't really like big, you can't even see it.
No,
Everything calms down.
no, it's
It seems like it's big, right? But that's a projection. Look at when you're in the movie theater, the little tiny thing in the back that's projecting on this big ass screen, right?
right.
It looks all vast. There's all these different pictures come in. It looks all vast. But it's just a projection of it. It's just a projection of mind, and everything is originating in the mind. The cause and the effect are in the same place.
Mm.
See, what's going on is people are working on the effect. People are trying to work on the effect. Like, try to change the effect. Try to change how this person behaves, right? Or try
Right.
to try to change how our government governs. It could be anything. It's
Mm.
like it's not just like an appreciation for the moment. It's even like, okay, let's say you have ants. There's ants all around your house, right? There's a bunch of ants. Even as you're
Okay.
going around acting out the ant remediation, that's all for the same purpose. You could say that the ant remediation is the same as, say, making love, for instance. It's the same purpose. It's all the same purpose. You know, you may be going around to do the ant remediation,
What's remediation?
just to get rid of the ants. It's a way of
Oh,
saying
kill.
get rid of the ants.
Okay.
Kill those fuckers.
Yes. Good red answer. You got it.
Spray some
Ooh.
cinnamon leaf essential oil on them. That does it every time.
Oh, those things are nasty there. We don't have those here.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, nothing can do. And oh, you don't have ants? Is that what you
Oh, we
said?
have plants, but they don't bite you like
Oh
yours.
yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know?
Well, yeah, we got fire ants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, even with that, if the attachment is to the outcome of having no ants, that's
Right.
denying the purpose.
That's
Just like in making love, if the attachment is to the outcome of an orgasm, that's
yeah.
also denying the purpose. See?
So what's the purpose?
It's always love. It's always love. It's all the same, is what I'm saying. It's all the same. It's all just that experience. Sharing the heart.
Killing and sharing the heart.
And of course I'm only speaking like pointers, because this is something that has to be seen for yourself.
Right. Okay. So that I need this bridge, this gap bridged. making love and killing ants is all the same purpose.
Yes. Same
What?
purpose.
What?
Yeah.
That's
You could say the purpose is awakening, but these are all words. You have to experience it. But being open to the experience will allow that experience to come. You don't have to hanker for any experience either. But just even listening and dialoguing with me right now in from that place of choiceless awareness, not as if you are Lori who has to do anything, who has to
right.
get anything.
Right.
See? Yeah. So it's so you come to recognize that it doesn't matter what kind of experience you find yourself in, it's all for the same purpose. And with it and with you knowing who you are makes the experience like magic.
Wait a minute. You fuzzed out. Makes the experience what?
It makes it like magic. It makes it is magic. The whole play, it's like magic. It's like a magic trick. And it's just a trick of the mind that we see these different pictures and different colors and different circumstances and stuff. But what it all comes down to, what the whole experience is for, what the whole purpose is to get back to where we thought we left.
But
to find out that we never really left.
We never really left. So my first awakening back in my early 30s,
okay.
When I went to my parents and asked them why I didn't feel loved growing up, it just blew open this mind. I had a month of literally flying. I was on cloud nine. It felt like life was magic.
Yeah.
Pure magic. And after that month of, oh my God, what's the opposite of magic? I don't know, but I went down.
You went to the opposite of magic?
Completely opposite, down in a hole of, and then I was hell bent on getting it back. And then I've slowly realized that that was just an experience.
Yeah.
Now know that was just an experience, but when you said magic, it brought back all of that. It was such a beautiful ease of, oh, Jesus. I loved living that way. It was effortless. It was ease and love. Oh my God, I was preaching to everyone about love. I remember being at work on the other side of the store, and one of the guys, what the hell is Tivitot on? I want some of that.
Yep.
God.
Yeah. Well, it's not that it's gone. It's probably a glimpse.
It was a big glimpse, and it sucked when it went away.
And then it doesn't go anywhere. It's just that thought patterns get believed again.
Yes, believed. I went right back. There's with the root being I'm not enough.
Yes, that's the root of everything.
Yep, I saw it.
That really is. That's the root of I'm not enough. It's being separate and not enough.
Yep.
That'll make it impossible.
Exactly.
Seemingly, because you don't have to take that. All it is an attack of the mind. You don't have to take that shit.
I don't know if I still do. It's not like it was. I mean, back then, but the ease. Holy shit.
The ease is still there. It didn't go anywhere. It's just believing in something else. You become committed. What?
here. It is still here.
It is still here. Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. It can't go away and come back. It just gets uncovered and covered again. And all it's covered with is a present moment believing. That's why it's available all the time. So you don't have to change your thoughts to make you seem more worthy. You know, it's just noticing that those thoughts are not talking about you, and that's not your voice either.
That's the minds.
It's the
Mind.
ego. It's the
Right.
ego,
Yeah.
basically. And you know, and then the ego is in a reality. The ego is not a reality. It's
Mm.
also make believe. Ego is basically energy of fear. Energy of fear, just projecting fearful thoughts. That's
Right.
all.
Yes.
So it's another one of those, no, thank you.
No, thank you. I don't want to entertain this.
Lori, you're not good enough. No thanks.
Yeah. Or shut the fuck up. It's not true.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. I would not recommend getting aggressive with the ego.
Yeah, right. It's just
Yeah,
reinforced. Yeah.
yeah, I would not recommend getting aggressive with ego because that aggressiveness is also ego.
Right,
See,
right. You could
yeah.
playfully
'Cause it's like,
say shut the fuck up.
well, yeah, because it's not real in the first place.
Hmm.
So to get angry at something, you have to make it real.
Hmm.
To want it to go away, you have to make it real. Like in my case, I don't want the ego to go away because I know it's not real. I would have to make it real to say I want it to go away.
Okay.
You know, I hear people say, "Well, I keep my ego in check. It's like a puppy dog. I have it doing what it wants." And I'm like, "No, that's actually the ego using the ego. You're just
Uh,
along for that ride." It's not like ego is your friend either. The ego is not your friend. It's simply not real. No one
doesn't
even has
exist.
one. No one even has one. But if we make the ego real, then the ego shows up as real in our lives.
Boy.
More separation shows up. So there's no need to make that voice real. Just a real, really? That's how it is. I think, what was it? Gosh, there was I don't even remember what it was, but like right before Wisdom Dialogues. Oh, I know what it is. I was walking out in my hallway, and my husband had a TV on, and there was a woman really big. Our TV's big, so her face is up there really big in the screen. And she's like an older woman, and she has wrinkles and bags and everything like that. And it goes, God, it sucks getting old in my mind. And just noticing stuff like that, it just kind of like makes me laugh.
Yeah.
See, for the most part, people will think that's their voice. And that'll actually make you feel that and actually make you feel like getting old is real and inevitable. See, that's the other thing. It's not real or inevitable. It's only being perceived because we've made it that way. And
Hmm.
and the thought, oh, it sucks getting old, is one of those thoughts that holds it down.
Yes.
So when that thought is caught in my consciousness, it's just kind of like a little chuckle, like, oh,
Hmm.
it's not as if that's true for me.
Right. Okay.
So it's meaningless. It makes it meaningless.
Right. It's just noticed and then it's gone.
Yeah, it's just you see that it doesn't have any meaning. It doesn't carry any weight. It doesn't have any effect.
Yeah.
The way they have an effect is taking them as true, pretending like that's our voice.
Right.
That's one step toward depression, believing the thought that it sucks getting old.
Right. Yeah.
Just believe that thought that it sucks getting old, and then a lot of other thoughts can come around that same thought that resonate with
Oh.
that thought, and that's called depression. It's pretty
Mm,
funny. All it comes down to is believing thoughts.
that's it.
Yeah.
I see it. I
Nothing
know
sucks. Nothing sucks. Everything is awesome.
every.
No one's getting old. What we see as aging is actually a misperception because we make it real. We make it real. Oh, that's what happens when you age. I had one acupuncturist. What I was asking her something. I forgot what it was. But I was saying, do you have any acupuncture for this? I would tell you what it was, but I totally forgot. And he goes, no, honey, that's just something you have to accept with aging. I'm like,
Uh,
I'm like, that's the best you got. Okay, that's my last appointment.
wow.
No, I don't know. Who knows? I could be back over there again.
Yeah.
But I just don't feel particularly motivated toward that mindset, especially when you're getting some kind of treatment like acupuncture. Well, fuck. Sorry. It's just that you're old.
Yeah.
All acupuncture can do is make you feel like you're doing something positive.
Well, yeah, just like the essential oils or anything, any vitamin, anything that you
Yeah,
take
it's
thinking,
magic. It's like magic. It's like magic. And it's like and the magic is in you. That's the thing. So it's like through your belief, you're healed. That's what Jesus would tell them when they think it was him that healed them.
right,
Oh,
right,
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. He's like, through your belief, you're healed.
right.
Through
So,
your
okay. So it's been my experience
hmm
that when there's less food going in this body,
yeah.
there's less weight.
Okay.
That's the experience. So
Then eat less food.
of course that's the belief. So when you
Well,
say
what's the deal? Why do you want more food? Let's go to that. Why do you want more food?
it's not that I want it, I see
What's
myself
the deal?
eating it
You feel like the food that you want to eat
causes
is
over.
causes weight gain.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So if that's the case, be open to eating less. You don't have to try to test things.
What's
It's
that?
also not true. It's also not true that a big wave could drown you in the ocean when you don't know how to swim. You don't need to go out and test that. See,
Mm,
if you try to test it like that and go, well, I know through my experience that when I eat a bunch of food, my body gets bigger.
right.
So I'm going to eat a bunch of food with the opposite belief, trying to make it opposite.
Right.
At least try to make it so I don't gain weight. That's how I'm going to see. That's ego. That's a
Mm.
different story. Why are you thinking so much about food in the first place?
Yeah,
Why are you
exactly.
thinking?
Why I am.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I
So
do know
so
that's the
so
worthiness for me.
yeah. So in the
It's
moment that it crosses your mind, you can
mhm.
demonstrate your worthiness by no, thank you. Any thought about food? Play with it. Any thought
Huh?
about food? It arises about food. It crosses your mind. Don't try to change the belief. Don't try to change it. Don't try to fight with it. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I'm not interested in thoughts about food. Who's interested in thoughts about food in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. This this idea of Lori.
Yeah. Who's even interested in thoughts about food? For me, it's just oh, that sounds good or feels good. For me, it's a lot. It has a lot to do with uh, uh, a food picture might come into my mind. I might feel some hunger. A food picture might come into my mind. I'll
Yeah.
feel into that picture. I'll just feel that picture before I ever put the food in my mouth. See how it feels.
Well,
Sometimes
I
it'll seem like something would be really good to eat, and then it's like, oh no, no need, and just pass that up. It's like make every bite of food like an offering to spirit.
Okay, because this is exactly what happens here. There's a picturing of what I would like, a mental image of the refrigerator, me opening it and what's in there that I can.
Uh-huh.
And I realized one time when I went to a restaurant to eat, and I had no I had a bad cold,
Uh-huh.
and it made me see I couldn't taste.
Uh-huh.
We went to eat, and I went, I'm mentally, as I'm reading the description of what I want to eat, I could taste it in my mouth. That's how I pick what I want to eat from a restaurant. Because I
Cool.
can, okay, so then I was like, what am I doing? This is a complete waste of money today because I ain't going to taste anything.
Yeah. There's a lot more to eating food than tasting.
Like what?
Well, there's
Filling,
all kinds of sensations that go along with eating food. One of them is digestion. You
filling
know,
that void,
yeah,
filling that,
mhm.
filling the hunger.
Yeah, and what the food feels like too as it's going down the throat and the digestion of it. That that's an energy play right there. That digestion of the food. That's pretty big. So that's something for me that I notice how a food feels, not just the taste. Taste is fine. You can get taste of something without even swallowing it too, you know. Uh, but how it feels like overall, the overall sense of it, the overall energy of it, you know, the overall energy of having that, and it's not a mental thing. It's not a calorie thing. It's not a you know, what is it, vegan kind of thing, or I don't know, whatever kind of concept. I have friends that have concepts that only raw meat too. So
Eh,
yeah, I've actually been one of those before. That's how I have those friends. So
raw, you don't
yeah.
cook it?
Oh yeah, we didn't cook. Well, I didn't cook it. A lot of my friends still don't. But yeah, that's also another conceptual thing we can get into. It's just for me, what I started to experience is eating is an overall experience. It's way beyond just the taste of the food. It's a whole overall experience. So I can tell if something is, uh, let's say something serves serves my best interest. One way of saying it is by sensing it. As soon as there's maybe a picture of a food arising in my mind,
Yeah.
I can have the experience of it without even eating it.
Yes, true.
I
Very
could
true.
feel and so in having that experience of it and allowing that experience of it, whether or not I'm gonna eat it actually is allowed to play out with all the information.
Doesn't.
With all the information. So we don't have a choice over what we eat, right? But we
Right.
have a choice over how much information we're allowing right now. So it's allowing those choices to be made with more information, basically.
If oh, say so by information, you're talking about what is realized
I'm
in
talking about I'm talking about information in the form of senses, the body senses. So basically in navigating our lives,
yes,
okay, the conceptual body or the energy body is receiving information and interpreting information. You've heard that perception is really, really small, right? And that we could be open to way more perception.
right. And I was when I first woke up, my first awakening, my perception was so much wider than it is.
Yeah. Well, since there's an idea of an individual awakening, that's why that unworthiness came back so strong.
Yeah,
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 so if there's a person who's awakened, then there's unworthiness that comes in.
Right.
That's why the unworthiness just isn't relevant to me, because there's no person to be unworthy. There's
Right.
nothing that can be unworthy. There's nothing that can be unworthy. Anything that seems to be unworthy isn't real.
Right. Ooh, boy, that's good.
So, so, so any kind of concept that comes up about food, all that is an attack to make that feeling, to get that feeling of unworthiness again.
Yeah. Yes,
You
totally.
don't
I
you don't
see
need
that
any.
clearly.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that for quite a few months now.
And then here's another thing. You don't know what size you should be.
Right. Yeah, that's what Katie said at at the school for the work. Same
Yeah.
thing.
And
She's
here's
going,
the thing, there's nothing to be afraid of in this. There's nothing to be of in this, because you actually don't know what's good for you. You can't possibly know. Neither can I. I'm not saying that I can and you can't. But
right.
no one can know what's good for them. No one can know. But your spirit knows your heart's desire before you even know it. If you sense a desire to have a strong, belt, lean body, don't you
Yeah.
think your spirit senses that desire too? You know,
Well,
before you ever knew.
and there's probably that's why there's so much pain.
Yeah, because well, you think that Lori has to do it. Lori has to do something.
Right.
That's why there's pain about it. And you know, you're gonna be the size that you need to be, and your
Right.
desires are known. So you know, and everything that you desire already is. There's no way that something is is really in opposition to your desire. There's
Oh,
nothing.
yeah, really. That seems so wrong.
I know.
I
So
know.
wrong. I know it seems so wrong. Yeah, because that's just it's a total, basically turn everything on its head that you've been conditioned toward, you know. But
Yeah.
not like the way the ego thinks. The way the ego thinks, take everything and turn it on its head. Well, I've been conditioned toward that if I barely ate any food, then I'm smaller. So I'm going to try to turn that on its head by gobbling up a bunch of food and proving that it doesn't do anything. That doesn't work, because that's all with the ego, and it's just going to show the opposite effect. But if there's no, and that's because of the attachment and wanting to control the outcome. See, there comes the attachment and control again. See,
Mm.
it's like, I want this particular outcome, so I need to try to control it. And there's no joy in that. There's no joy. There's no joy in
No,
eating like that. What?
I said no shit.
No shit. Yeah. It just makes it a pain in the ass. You know, I went through a period where I would just like to eat basically fried food, wings and beer, wings and
Yep,
beer.
same
So
thing.
okay, and 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 you know what?
You still
It's
like
like,
what?
no, knowing that food doesn't affect the body,
Hmm.
also willing to accept the illusion that it does.
Well, that's why I brought it up again,
Yeah,
because obviously it does in this illusion, which I'm still in, or
you're
whatever.
not in it.
The
You're not.
idea,
You're not in it. You're just fighting with it.
yeah,
You're
okay,
just fighting with it because you're still trying to get some kind of result.
yeah, a
You're still
result,
trying to get and see, that'll make you, trying to get a result will make you go for food that has a tendency, you know, like that has been practiced and having a tendency to cause weight gain, because that's what you're used to. It'll
right?
make you go to that though. It'll drive you to it.
No shit,
Yeah, because
and
because of the resistance though, because of the resistance to it. That's what drives you to it.
yeah,
If you weren't resisting, you wouldn't be driven like that to it. And then it's all okay. Remember a couple weeks ago, I was showing you my belly, and my belly was like really big and stuff.
right,
You're like, yeah, dang, you really, you really do. And I was like, yeah. And I was just like, oh wow, now now I've got a big belly, so I'm like my clothes and getting into kind of like having my clothes with my belly and everything. And then you know what? The next thing you know, the thing's gone.
Oh my God. That's
Fucking thing, and it seemed like it was so there. It was like
huh?
it was so there. It was almost like I was like 3 months pregnant or something.
That's the way it feels for me.
Yeah, but the thing is, but the thing is, work it, baby. Whatever it is, put some cute clothes on, have fun with it. But see that can only happen if there's seeing that these thoughts that say this shouldn't be this way or this unworthiness, seeing that those thoughts are meaningless. When it's seen that those thoughts are meaningless, you are sexy as fuck no matter what.
No matter what. Because it's just thought that it's wrong. That it should.
Exactly. You could be a 500-pound woman with some mean swagger, and don't worry, you're getting yours.
Why it just will not let go.
It's not that it's not that it won't let go. It's that it's really interesting to you. You want to keep on following it. You want to
Okay.
keep on making that thing real. And you know what? This is where the truth comes in. This is like what they say where the rubber meets the road, okay? When a thought about food comes up, recognize that it's meaningless. It's really, really simple. But see, instead of recognizing it's meaningless, you have a tendency and a habit of wrestling with it. You don't have to do that. You could just take relaxation right now, and that's I don't know. In my experience, I've found it's very slimming. I don't know why. It doesn't have to be though. You see how the belly came in at first. I was like, wow, what do I do? Because it kind of just pops out. And I'm used to my clothes looking and fitting a certain way on me. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, boom, there's a belly.
Mm.
And at first it was a little bit like, wow, I'm spending like a half hour putting on different clothes. And then
Yeah.
realized, oh, this is fun. And then I'm doing like different drape, even doing things to like accentuate it, wearing certain dresses where it shows it. I have one girlfriend who has a really nice belly. It's a little bit on the bigger side, and she's always accentuating it, and I think it's so awesome.
Yeah, that's freedom right there.
Yeah,
I
her clothes actually accentuate it.
no shit.
No, I'm not kidding. And the way she walks around and with the sparkle in her, it's like I notice that she's the way she's carrying herself. It doesn't matter either way.
No.
Remember, we were maybe like 7 years ago or something when her body was going through a change. She
Mm.
was experiencing her body going through a change,
Well, I
and
think it has gone through the change. I mean, because I think my period is done, and it's definitely changing. It's changed a lot in the past year.
and and nothing's set in stone. See, see that sigh?
Yes, the sigh is
Yeah,
for the
that's the same thing.
fighting it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, see that sigh, it's like right there, that could just be met with the heart. The heart is closed to this right now because of wanting a particular outcome and trying to control the outcome. The
Yeah.
heart is closed to this, and that's why there's a sigh.
Yeah. Because this has been the same thing forever.
Well,
It,
because you want to make it a thing. You can stop making it a thing anytime you like.
mm,
And that doesn't mean you would stop working out. That might not mean you would stop eating healthy food or whatever you consider healthy food. I know there's all different schools of thought on that.
right.
But and different things that work for different bodies too, apparently, because it's all appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all these things can be going on still without the attachment to an outcome. The
Okay.
exercise, the this, the that, whatever it is, it could all be going on, and then even when you you find yourself eating something that your mind says, oh no, that'll make me fat.
Right.
That's like, that's really a big challenge. That could be considered a pretty big challenge because that's something that's been practiced a lot, and it's really riddled with guilt.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So,
Guilt.
so you can consider that it helps you some big important work. Just this thought that comes up about food,
Mm,
that's some big. And for me, I'll think about you, for instance. I'll think about you, or I'll think about anyone else that I love, and realize that this is that this is now is the time. Whatever it is that happens to be up. In your case, you might have this thought about food, and realize that believing in this thought is making suffering.
yes.
And if you can't do it for yourself right now, maybe think of a loved one. For me, I'll even think of like people in Africa. Like, that'll pop into my mind. Like, do it for them. You know what I mean?
Mm,
But like, recognize that this is not helping you, that this is not serving you
I know it's
right
not
now. And that's it.
in the moment.
What?
In the moment that it's happening, that's when it needs to be recognized that it's not serving this
And
thought.
and look, you're never out of the moment. So
Yeah.
so that includes right now. That includes right now. That includes any kind of sense of frustration, that sighing energy, all of that kind of stuff. It's just there to be met with compassion. It's just there to be met by you. And then it won't matter what you eat. But it seems to matter what you eat. It only seems to matter what you eat because of the attraction to suffering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I see. Okay, I see that.
Yeah, that's what makes it matter what you eat.
Right.
Attraction to suffering. When there's not an attraction to suffering, it really doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay, that
We have to make it matter for it to matter. And then it
right.
still really doesn't matter, but it seems to.
It seems
Yeah.
it's
Let's put it
belief.
this way. Let's put it this way. We have to make it matter for it to seem to matter.
Jeez. No, this friggin' road is frustrating as all hell.
No, it's
This,
not. No, it's not. Frustration is there, and you're using your perception of this road, there's no road, to get the feeling of frustration. That's all. It's not
that's all.
frustrating. Yeah, nothing's frustrating. I experienced frustration yesterday, actually. It was really fun. I
You
was trying to
said,
read I was trying to read something on my computer, and my son was talking to me at the same time. Suddenly I felt it. And I was like, whoa. Inside I was just like, whoa, frustration. I remember that feeling.
wow.
And then it's just gone because it's not taken as anything that's real. It's not like I really need to keep reading what I'm reading. You know, it's like and I don't really need to focus on my attention anywhere in particular except what feels good to my spirit.
Yeah.
And it's just like it seemed like my attention was being pulled, and then all of a sudden I was frustrated. But
Hmm.
not for long. As soon as there's awareness of it, it's gone.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Just like
No,
pregnancy. I've had that experience with pregnancy too. I shared yesterday on in-person dialogue. I think it happened this past week. I had an inkling that I might be pregnant, so I peed on a stick.
I get
Yeah, and it said pregnant.
it did.
Yeah. So I'm cruising around. And I'm like, and the thought will come back into my mind that I'm pregnant, and I'm like, I just don't see that. And then it'll come back a couple hours later, an hour later, or something. Pregnant. The next day I got my period.
No, way. Those sticks are not usually.
I know.
Wow.
The funny thing is I could feel the symptoms too.
Yeah. Yeah, I get
That's what prompted me to pee on the stick in the first place.
you right. Because the mind's not gonna believe it. What?
So it's funny. It's kind of like no, I don't. I can't really imagine that. And you know what? It's not that it's not okay with me. It's okay with me if I'm pregnant. That's okay.
I would be
But
my worst.
I don't. Yeah. See, you're making that up. That it would be your worst nightmare. You're just making that up. It's not true.
I I would have to do something about. There's no way I would want to raise another baby at 53 years old.
You don't
No.
do anything. You don't do anything.
Oh my God.
You don't do anything. So what would be the problem? You don't
Oh.
really raise a kid. That was an old way of doing things. That was an old way of perceiving. Your kid is just as much supported as you are by the same source and power.
Because it's really not even a kid.
It's really not even a kid. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm in if that needs to happen, I'm here for it just like any experience. If that needs, the spirit knows that, in my own experience is it's not something that I would choose. And like, oh yeah, I think I'll just take pregnancy. That sounds good, you know. but 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 then at the same time, this experience is not what it seems, and it's all for the same thing. So it really doesn't matter. What it comes down to, it actually doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter to me because of that. Because everything is used for the same. And see, I think that's why it seems like manifesting comes easy to me because there's not a resistance to it. Even though it's not something that I think I would choose for myself, there's not resistance to it. See?
There's okay. I I guess. Oh my God. After talking like this, there seems to be a shutdown.
What kind of shutdown?
Like a mind shutdown, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, just be quiet then. What I recommend if it appeals to you after you're done here, be in
Yeah.
silence for a little bit. Just let things sink in.
Okay.
Just see if you can rest and just breathe slowly and be in silence just a little bit. And if you don't if you don't find the silence manifesting right away, just let it happen eventually that you're just gonna let it sink in and just breathe. Just sit and breathe. And what's going on, Lori, is a lot of thought, just a lot of thought,
Yeah.
and not rest from it. And that's why it seems so difficult because the thoughts are playing all day long. And just that thought of food, it's repeating so many times throughout the day. It's taking up so many hours in the day with the thought. And in the moment that that's why I always say in the moment that it arises, that's where the cords get cut. So they don't have to keep on your whole life doesn't have to keep on being about thought. It has to be quiet to hear, to listen. There needs to be quiet.
Yeah.
When each one arises, as you recognize that it's meaningless, there's a quiet that happens. Let the quiet happen. Don't try to get the concepts that I'm putting forth because those are only pointers. Let
Right.
them sink deeply. Okay, just being here, it's happening, Lori. It's happening for you. The self doubt makes it seem like it's taking longer,
Right. Yep. I see that
and that's
clearly.
all that is another thought.
Yep. No more thought. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. I love you.
Love you too. Thank you for being so patient.
I'm not doing anything. I just love it. I'm really happy to be here.
Uh, me too.
You are me. You are me. Yay. And I love you.
I love
Aloha, Lori.
Bye.
So if anyone else would like to speak with me, please raise your hand or give me a question. Um, it was really fun talking today. Thank you, Lori. Thank you for everyone else for being on here. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks for just being here. I appreciate you so much. We are this webinar, Wisdom Dialogues. It's going to soon be live on YouTube once I get some really fast internet service. This is stoked. Yay. So we're going to probably have some internet service that's smoking this month, and we'll be able to broadcast live on YouTube. And yeah, as always, we're sponsored by Miracle Botanicals. Basically, whatever kind of money it takes to do the Wisdom Dialogues in person, online, Miracle Botanicals is sponsoring that, and that's a company that I founded. We have the best essential oils in the world. I was just demoing them today at a local store, and people coming up to me and just going, "Wow, I just tried that one, and it's the best I've ever had." And I go, "Yeah, well, that's because that's the way we do it. That's basically our business model. We try all the ones that are available, and we pick the best one." Pretty simple. People get in, they're like, "Wow, heaven in a bottle." Usually. Sometimes, you haven't smelled it ahead of time. It might be something you don't agree with. But, we have 100% money back guarantee because we love you. All right, you want to join live? Facebook/Wisdom Dialogues. No, Facebook/groups/Wisdom Dialogues. That's how you get to join live, like the people on here are right now. What else do I want to let you know about? Wisdomdialogues.org. That makes it easy. Just go to wisdomdialogues.org and you got all my videos. Yay. Oh, and I'm on SoundCloud now. I think it's like, I don't even know what it is. I think it's like Wisdom Dialogues SoundCloud. You can download it. You can have your workout to Wisdom Dialogues. I don't know. Anyways, thank you. Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Hawaii time. I love you so much. Thank you to each and every one of you for joining and each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, aloha and a hui ho.